I'm so focused on all the mom things that I don't recognize that my baby is hurting. I don't want to say that it's a cycle, but it can be. And I made a decision and choice with my children, it stops with me. We're gonna go seek help. We're gonna go talk to somebody because I'm tired of us just going through the motions, and these children, or now grown men, need help, need support.
In this series, we are exploring motherhood and the impact therapy has with moms across different phases of life, answering questions in a group setting together, and then exploring the answers further individually to gain valuable insight into the world of each mom. I taught my kids to be strong, but I didn't expect to feel so lost when they took flight. 3, 2, 1. Jody, waiting on you. Let's see. Anya, I'm gonna start with you. Why'd you put no?
I felt great when I felt like they could fly out on their own and flap their own wings.
Because the job was done? You did it?
For the most part, yes.
Okay.
I gave what I had.
And they took it.
And they took it.
And they were off.
And they ran with it. My name is Anya Gamble Hill. I live in Oakland, California. I have 2 beautiful daughters. I must add, I have bonus family, a daughter and a son. I have 8 grandchildren and 5 grandpuppies.
Yes.
And we're a beautiful blended family.
See, I think I would be over here with the yeses. So Carrie, I'm gonna start with you. Why'd you do yes?
Because there's so many other things or unknowns that happen with young people that I wasn't sure if I had prepared them for. There was stuff that I was still trying to figure out myself. It caused me to pause and be like, I'm not sure if they're ready. I'm Carrie. I have 2 amazing men, and I am from Georgia.
I don't always agree with the choices my kids are making now that they are an adult or a parent. 3, 2, 1. 100%, yes.
I think I'm still learning. You know? I came to motherhood later. I didn't have my children until I was 40, and then I had a surprise 10-pound baby boy when I turned 44. Thought I was going through menopause, but it was my biggest blessing. And so I feel like I'm still trying to figure things out, and you know, let them do what they need to do, and they'll learn from their experiences. Hi, Sonni. My name is Maria. I'm an empty nester mom. I have 2 children in their 20s, and I live in Southern California.
Do you feel this stage of your life has helped you redefine your identity beyond motherhood? 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm excited. Jody, let's start with you. Share some thoughts with us about this season.
Well, I'm excited to find my way back to myself, but in a new way, and trying new things. I spent so much, just putting everything into my son. It's kind of nice to get back to some of my own interests, and even picking up new things I never tried before, and just having a new sense of perspective and adventure. I'm Jody. I live in California, and I'm a mother to an awesome 21-year-old boy, so I'm an empty nester.
Getting back to art and just trying new things and saying yes to everything.
Okay, I love that. So what was your last big yes?
This.
Okay. Being here with us, I love that.
Hi, I'm Donna from Dallas, and I have 2 amazing daughters who are 36 and 33.
This next one, I was looking forward to the most. If I am going to live another 40 years, I need to be chasing my own dreams. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I don't have a yes, but yes, because I'm all about chasing the dreams.
I'm saying yes to me. Sometimes for us as mothers, we get lost in our kids. And as much as we love them and adore them and they're beautiful people, aren't we beautiful too? Mm-hmm. Just saying yes to things makes us better humans. And it's key to do that and to live a whole life, because what did they say? You have to live in the dash.
Yeah.
When they bury you and I'm sorry to get dark, but when they when they put you in the ground, you want to say that, you know what, Carrie lived that dash. She didn't stop. She just kept going. She loved, she laughed, she cried, she lived.
How many of you would say that there was a season where you got lost in motherhood? Anya, I'll start with you. When did you notice that you were starting to get lost in motherhood?
My girls are 10 years apart.
Okay.
So I had time to get lost, find myself, and get lost again. But I think the youngest one was, she's such a leader, but when she was in middle school, she decided to lead people in the wrong direction. So, okay. Just sticking with her, you know, trying to explain and then saying, you do what you want to do, it's okay. And she went from being expelled the last week of class to going back and being the most outstanding student the next year, the same time frame. So you just gotta let them be who they are, and always have their backs. And they turned out to be great young women.
Look at that.
Well, in many ways, I feel kind of badly for my daughter. You know, her father wasn't in the picture, so I was a single mom for a very long time. And I was still selfish. I was still that only child, you know, who wants what she wants and wants to do what she wants to do and when she wants to do it. So I think I kind of raised my daughter more like a princess.
Okay.
You know, she was cute, she had the cute things, she got to do things, but at the end of the day, I don't know that that was all so helpful for her, but at least I was there. I was aware that I'm all she has, and I need to be there to support her in her endeavors, whatever they are.
Donna, go ahead.
Well, I was a single mom, and I had, since my daughters were 7 and 10. And so it was really just the three of us. And we were three musketeers, and I was just really into my girls. I just felt like this is what I was made for. And when my oldest daughter went off to college, she took a gap year and went to Spain, dropped her off at the airport, came home, crawled into bed into the fetal position. And so my younger daughter, I would get up, make her breakfast, make her lunch, take her to school, crawl back in bed. And then about 2 weeks into that, she said, you know, Mom, you have another daughter. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, that I was really lost. And I needed to come back to myself and to her too.
Jody, can you tell us about when you got lost in motherhood?
I was a single mom, and my childhood, I came from a lot of neglect, so I think I went the other extreme of I seriously never missed anything in my son's life, which is probably not normal, but I mean, every little thing I was there. And I would say, if I was being honest with myself, at certain points it probably was at the expense of my own mental health, I guess, or exhausting myself a little bit too much. You know, I never really lost myself throughout the years. I always kept my interests, so I really like the creative arts and painting and things like that. So, and I feel like it was kind of important to show my son, I'm not just always your mom all of the time, like I have my own identity too. And I think that's also helped us not feel like it's such a shock with the empty nest situation, because it's me finding my way back to some of those interests doesn't seem like I'm now this completely different person.
You weren't so far
to
away
him.
to begin with, right? Okay.
We did a family soccer tournament. One of the little girls on my daughter's team, she said, what do you do? And I said, oh, I'm Beatrix's mom. And she goes, who else? And I said, oh, I'm also Owen's mom. She goes, no, who are you really? And I'm like, oh, wow, you just shone a light. But it just really showed me I'm not stepping up and being present for me. I found the person that I had been looking for since I was 19 years old, but I needed to do all these other things to get there, to really have the perspective.
Did it feel like once you got there and you started doing the creative things that maybe, you know, your 19-year-old self wanted to do, did it feel like you were home in a sense, or how did it feel?
It felt really just like in a warm, comfortable space. I'm like, look at that. You did that.
Like, look at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
I am awesome. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes, we have to tell ourselves that sometimes. I feel like, especially with internal dialogue, I tell clients all the time, if your internal voice is not your biggest cheerleader, you need to tell them to have a seat.
My child has a situation, right, that caused me to realize, wait, so I'm so focused on all the mom things that I don't recognize that my baby is hurting. As a grown child, right, myself, that I had my own either triggers or screams that my parent also didn't notice.
That they missed.
Right? They missed it. I don't want to say that it's a cycle, but it can be. And I made a decision and choice with my children, it stops with me. We're gonna go seek help. We're gonna go talk to somebody because I'm tired of us just going through the motions, and these children, or now grown men, need help, need support. BetterHelp is an awesome opportunity for all people of whatever ages to get the support of someone like you, Sonni, or millions of other therapists that can help them walk through that journey as a mom, as a grown child as well. And I think that's what got me back to, ooh, I have an issue.
I love that because you spoke about being a cycle breaker. Yeah. And a lot of that does start with that self-awareness piece, but then understanding, wait, I need help because I don't know how to break the cycle on my own. I need that extra support, and then showing your children what that looks like and making it okay. So I think that's really, really important.
Having a neurodivergent kid, even being neurodivergent myself, adds flavor to the world. And I think that if everybody was the same, we'd be bored.
So bored.
So I obviously got him some assistance, and even for myself.
At sometimes I felt like I was a selfish parent because I was raised as an only child. So the whole world was about me. And I realized, use whatever resource you have. It was the same young daughter who said, you and my sister need to get therapy. Y'all need therapy, okay?
I'm sure she didn't say it like that,
She
Anya.
said it just like that. Girlfriend circles are the best, yes. Okay? Because I mentioned to a girlfriend, oh, I need to have therapy with my daughter. She goes, try BetterHelp. And it was so helpful. And I am grateful to BetterHelp because we did resolve it to the point where we could speak to each other again and have a better understanding of each other. People my age, my culture, therapy was not a thing.
It wasn't, no.
In fact, it was more of a stigma. If you had to go see somebody, what's wrong with you? I'm grateful for the help that we got. And my youngest granddaughter is actually in therapy now as well to work things out. So I'm happy to be the role model of the family.
Has your relationship with your kids changed now that they're adults? 3, what? Wait, y'all. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
I feel like it's been a little bit of a bumpy road, and some of it has been, thank goodness for therapy, and we've used in-home services and stuff to build our little toolboxes and grounding techniques and handling all that intergenerational trauma and all that. Because triggers do come up as a parent too from your own stuff. And okay, I know I don't want to do that. I need tools and stuff.
At what point were you like, I need to make a change?
I think almost straight away because I didn't have those examples. I'm also from a generation of suck it up, buttercup. We didn't talk about things. Therapy really wasn't mentioned much or anything like it, or even society. I feel like in my generation kind of viewed it as like a weakness.
A big stigma.
Yes, there was still that stigma. So I think straight away, and also with having not the greatest childhood myself, I knew that there would be probably triggers that would come up.
Do you feel like your son has seen all that you've done to raise him to kind of play both of those roles? Do you feel like he sees it now that he's older?
He does. He's got such a good head on his shoulders, but life gets overwhelming for anybody. And I know that he's 100% comfortable seeking help if he needs it. It's a tool that's always there. Therapy is. And it's like, life circumstances might change and you might have a whole new set of things that come up later in life or at any season in your life. And it's always there and it's always available. And yeah.
You don't have to do it alone.
Out of all the moms here, I'm probably the newest empty nester because my baby just went to college. When I dropped him off in August, the school people, the counselors and whoever, said, okay, parents, you're moving from parents to partners. Partners in the sense that we're just going through this and I'm supporting him.
Partnership is now a group project, but you both got to do the part. You both got to do the work.
Correct.
You can't just put his name on it.
Correct.
Anymore.
Yeah.
And Donna, what about you? What about your relationship with your daughters?
It's wonderful. It's definitely different. Part of it is geographic. One is in Colorado, one is in North Carolina. And so there is not that every day in their life anymore. And I'm not the be all end all anymore. And they're not going to contact me for every little thing. And I don't want them to. We are just trying to figure out now the next phase of our momship, friendship, womanship, really. And one time they said, oh, you need to get a life, Mom. It's time for you to get a life. And whoa. No. And people say, oh my gosh, that's such a horrible thing. And to me, it's not. What they were telling me is you're capable, you still have 40 years left, you're smart.
You heard it as almost like a permission. Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's time for me to chase my dreams.
Yeah. I had a hard time growing into seeing them as women and not my daughters and not my babies, because that's just really, really been a challenge for me. So I think they've done a great job creating lives for themselves and being responsible. I mean, they stepped up to every expectation I ever had of them. They are incredible women.
And so you have to look in the mirror, right? Because you played a part in that. You started it. And so I think sometimes as moms, we don't give ourselves enough credit, enough understanding, enough grace for how hard it is and how much we have to show up and kind of plant those seeds. So good for you for being able to see the seeds that have blossomed and grown, but you got to give yourself some credit there too.
They were my gift. They were a gift to me. Or that's how I feel that children are a gift. And it's my responsibility to care for that gift.
Do you experience conflict with your kids now that you're able to fully prioritize yourself in your life? 3, 2, 1.
I've had a different career in my life. I had my children older and they were doing their own thing now. And I'm doing something out there that most people go, really? But you know what? I came to it, my whole life shaped me to go off and do this other thing. And they're like, yeah, Mom, you're badass, do it. And like, keep it up. So like, if somebody tells you that, don't say, no, I won't do that. Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it if it feels right.
Yeah.
I had such high expectations for my girls. And now that I'm grown and they're grown and they're doing great, and things have changed in my life, and so they have high expectations of me now too. That's created a little conflict. Well, why aren't you doing this and why aren't you doing that? You have to both take a step back and just kind of figure out what your relationship is, because it's always going to change.
Do you think there's a difference between being an empty nester and being a grandparent? 3, 2, 1. It's not different? Okay, I'm with the yeses.
An empty nester just means that I have the time to go visit the grandkids wherever they are. Grandparents will travel thousands of miles to be with those grandbabies. I love it.
Obviously, I don't want to raise my grandchildren, and I did my time, as they say, and I absolutely cherished it, and I wouldn't want to take that away from I don't want to take over my children's children. I don't want to do that. I want it to be there because it was such a wonderful experience for me. I just adored every minute of it. And I want them to have that. As far as an empty nester, then there's that part where I'm not even anybody's parent or grandparent. I'm a woman.
You just worry about Donna.
I'm just worried about
Yes.
Donna and doing the Donna thing and trying new things, and without the thought of even being a grandparent or even a parent at this point. So it's a yes and a no.
It is a yes and a no. I feel like that's the motherhood journey. It's a yes and a no. Lots of give and take. I have taken so much from this conversation today, ladies. Invaluable wisdom has been imparted today. So I thank you guys for your time. It has been wonderful. It has truly been wonderful. And I appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.